This just in, breaking news, Elon Musk did an oopsie! And in our other top story, a recession indicator that has never been wrong is close to being triggered! Alrighty guys, welcome into the Financial Education channel. If you're new here, I am Jeremy. We got a couple stories to talk about. Elon Musk did an oopsie. We also have a recession indicator that has never been wrong that is close to being triggered, alright? So first off, I get up this morning and I go to the Discord that I have for my private stock group, and somebody said something that was very interesting. One of the comments, they said, Elon Musk said that Tesla will make 500,000 cars this year. What do you guys think? And I was like, what? I was like, I haven't heard Elon Musk say anything about 500,000 cars. That seems a little strange. And I responded, I think that's an ambitious target, but not sure they'll hit it. I'm thinking Tesla will probably do 400 or maybe 450 in 2019, well over 500K in 2020 though. And I wasn't sure where the member was getting this information, so I went to Elon Musk's Twitter, and sure enough, there was a tweet that Elon Musk had from about 17 hours ago that says Tesla made 0 cars in 2011, but will make around 500,000 in 2019. And this would come as a huge surprise because no one has said anything about 500,000 cars Tesla producing in 2019. So this would be kind of like shocking information, but then you scroll up to the top and you'll see Elon Musk then corrected that about 4 hours after that tweet was sent. He corrected, he said, meant to say annualized production rate at the end of 2019 will probably be around 500,000, i.e. around 10,000 cars per week. Deliveries for the year are still estimated to be around 400,000. So first off, I'm very happy Elon Musk went ahead and clarified that and didn't just leave that tweet out there, because I think that is material information. Like, we're talking about 100,000 cars. Like, that's a massive difference. So I'm very happy he went ahead and corrected that. Now let's be very clear with this. Some people are trying to correlate this tweet with the 420 going private tweet. If you don't remember that tweet, this was back in August. Elon Musk tweeted out, am considering taking Tesla private at $420. Funding secured. Some people are trying to like say this tweet is as bad as that, or Elon Musk is still out of control, when I think these are two very, very different tweets, okay? First off, the tweet he sent out yesterday was when the market was already closed, so it wasn't going to have any material impact on the stock whatsoever. And he went ahead and he corrected that also way before the market ever opened today. He corrected it last night, okay? Whereas the other 420 tweet, one that was like talking about going private, which is a massive, massive deal at 420, which was a way elevated price. It was in the middle of a trading day. Tesla stock that day moved up huge on the news. It had a huge material impact on the stock there in the short term. So they're two very, very different things. It is an oopsie by Elon Musk, but it's not even close to being on the same level of a 420. We're going private and funding secured. Though that was a really bad move on Elon Musk's part. This other tweet is like, basically he made a mistake. He made the tweet when the market was already closed, so that's fine. And he corrected it way before the market was ever open. So if you look, it had no impact whatsoever on Tesla stock today. Tesla stock is actually having a bad day overall, especially if you compare it to the market. So it's not like this helped out Tesla stock in any way possible, okay? And sometimes people ask me about what I think as a Tesla shareholder as far as production goes over the next few years. The way I kind of look at it, this year I think they'll do somewhere between 400,000 deliveries and maybe up to 450, but they're only going to hit 450 if a couple things happen. One, they have to get out the $35,000 Model 3, and I'm talking about before incentives. They have to get that out within like the next 2 months. If that doesn't happen, I don't think they're going to hit 450. Also, they would have to get the Chinese factory up and running in some capability by fall time. That's also pushing it. So I think a more realistic is around that 400,000 number for 2019. As far as 2020 goes, I can see Tesla doing somewhere between 500,000 and 600,000. They'll probably get some Model Y deliveries in there. Also, they should definitely have the $35,000 Model 3. They should have Shanghai up and running, the Chinese factory. So I can see them doing somewhere between 500,000 and 600,000 in 2020. 2021, I can see 600,000 to 750,000. And then 2022, I can see them definitely doing 750,000 plus. And by the way, these numbers are basing off a normal economic activity going on in the market, not being like, if we were in a massive global recession, these numbers could obviously all be lower. But at the same time, if everybody was just booming or something, maybe these numbers could be a little higher. So I just want to be very clear about that. But the reason I can see them by 2022 doing at least 750,000 plus units is, one, they'll probably have 3 cars in the market. They'll for sure have Model 3, obviously, and Model S, but I think they'll have another car of some kind, maybe even a lower price one, something in the 20s, that maybe only sits 2 people or something like that, that's electric. I see that as a possibility. I think they'll probably have 2 truck models models in the market in 2022, and obviously at least 2+ SUVs. They'll have Model Y and Model X, and if not a third SUV of some kind, they'll be in the market. They'll have Roadster in the market. They'll have worldwide sales going on by that point in time. They'll be selling all over the world to all the different markets, in my opinion, and also they'll have the US, China, and Europe factories, so they should all be up and running. So when I look at 2022, I think that's when they can really start knocking the ball out of the ballpark as far as numbers go, and start producing mass amounts of vehicles. I mean, they're already pretty much a mass vehicle maker at this point in time, especially on the electric side. They're completely dominating, but not to like this type of level where you're like, we become literally one of the biggest in the entire world. All right guys, so that covers the Elon Musk oopsie. Definitely not nearly like the 420 tweet, let's put it that way. Not even on the same scale, but some people will claim it to be. Next thing up here is a recession indicator with a perfect track record over 70 years is close to being triggered. Now, a headline like that is enough to trigger like some fear going through your body, okay? Let's read through this and let me give my opinion. The unemployment rate has been a perfect forecaster of recession, and it appears to be edging closer to triggering that signal. A chief economist says it's never been wrong. It's something to watch. According to that economist, since 1948, the economy has always entered or been in a recession when the unemployment rate increases 50 basis points or half a percentage point from its trailing cyclical low. He said a recession occurred in the 11 instances regardless of the level of unemployment. He pointed to the example of a recession in 1953 when the unemployment rate rose just to 3.1%, and in 1981 when the cyclical low in the unemployment rate was at a high of 7.2%. The unemployment rate reported February 1st rose to 4% in January from 3.9%. It is currently 30 basis points above the low of 3.7% reported in November. So let me break that down in the simplest terms possible, okay? 3.7% was the low in the unemployment rate, okay? So what this indicator is basically saying that if the unemployment rate goes to about 4.2%, all right, which would be a decent upward move from even here around 4%, that would trigger the recession indicator, which in this situation would mean there's going to be a recession coming very, very soon in that situation, okay? Because that's what it basically is. It's a 0.5% is the difference there that makes that recession indicator go, is a 0.5%. So if we go from 3.7, which was a cyclical low, to all of a sudden we hit a 4.2 sometime soon, that could trigger the recession indicator. And let's keep in mind here, if it doesn't happen, right? If let's say it goes to 4.2%, and a recession doesn't happen, that would, from my understanding, be the first time ever where it didn't happen. So if it goes to 4.2, then there's a pretty good chance. And I think it brings out another point that I gave on the video where it's talked about, this was like a week or two ago I released this video, on why I believe there's about a 70% chance of a recession coming in 2020, is because when you start getting an unemployment rate so low like that, when we start talking about a 3 or 4%, there's just not a lot of wiggle room as far as on the upward side where you can get a lot of people still coming into the workforce. Most people, almost everybody that wants to be in the workforce right now is already in the workforce. They already have a job, if not multiple jobs. And so that makes the ceiling as far as how much higher you can reach just very, very limited, because almost everybody that has a job already has a job. When you, let's say you come out of a recession, you can create a lot of jobs coming out of that recession. Those jobs go ahead and create a lot more jobs. They bring a lot more people into the workforce. People that actually want jobs get those jobs. They start making money. They start spending money, which goes ahead and makes for more jobs. But eventually you get to a point where almost everybody who literally wants a job has a job at a particular time. And so you reach almost like a stagnation where it's like the dominoes can't really keep pushing. And now you're kind of stuck with maybe you can get wages to go up a bit. And if wages kind of get stagnant as well, then all of a sudden the dominoes can start falling the wrong way. You start getting some unemployment. You start getting bigger companies obviously cutting jobs. That leads to more job losses. That leads to more people not spending as much money, and so on and so forth. Next thing you know, you're in a full-blown recession, and then eventually you kind of get out of that. Some monetary stimulus comes, all those type of things, right? The jobs market kind of ends up coming to a trough, and then all of a sudden things start picking up. All of a sudden you get a 50,000 type job increase, then you get 100,000, then 200,000, and then you start the dominoes rolling the right way again. So I think it's just when you get to these type of low numbers in the 3s and in the low 4s and whatnot, I think it just makes for a lot less upside for the overall economy in general. general, all right? If that 4.2% number comes soon, I mean, that will be the first time, if it does come a 4.2% and we don't go into a recession, that'd be the first time ever. So let's just keep that in mind, all right? Something to definitely pay attention to. I want to know your guys' opinion on Elon Musk and the Oopsie, and as well as this recession indicator. I would love to hear from you guys in that comment section as always. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.